Hey guys, this is a new episode of Manchester United Liverpool podcast. We're doing a preview. Here joining us, we have first time on the podcast, Choko, United fan, and we have Ryan, feeling smug as always, but you know what?
As always.
We're going to call this AKA Stop the Unbeaten Stop the Unbeaten Run. That's the plan for this.
Okay.
For this game. We're going to go through a combined 11. We're going to go through a near miss or transfer that your club did not make that hurt you the most. And we'll do a preview of the game and a scoreline. Then we'll do a preview of the rest of the top 6 games that happened last weekend. I'll start with, since this is going to be at Old Trafford, I'll start with my boy. We're the home team. Choko, give us your Manchester Liverpool preview, combined 11 for this season, rather.
Okay. So, like I said to you before now, this is bad. This is humiliating. But I'll say it's got to be done. I'll take off my Manchester hat and I'll say I'm going for a 4-3-3 formation.
Okay.
So at the back, obviously, I'll have Maguire. I'll have Maguire with the man who will not be dribbled.
The man who's better defended.
Virgil van Dijk. And obviously, I'm going to go with TAA and Robertson from Liverpool. So only Maguire makes it into the back for United, from United into the combined 11. Okay. So you move into
who's your keeper?
Midfield.
Who's your keeper?
Oh, sorry. So circle back. Oh, definitely. On current form, I'm definitely going with the big man from Liverpool. I'm going with the Liverpool keeper. I've just gone blank.
Alisson.
That's the one. Sorry.
Oh, it's been hurt though. Is it not been hurt?
Yeah, I know. But if we're looking at the combined 11. I'm guessing that we're looking at it over the length of the season, aren't we?
Correct, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, over the length of the season.
That's where I'm coming from. If you took out the injury, it's not that he's dropped form. Do you get me? He's just injured.
But he got injured in game 1. Am I right, Ryan? Was it the first game he got injured?
Yeah, he got injured the first half of game 1, yeah.
Game 1, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I still rate him more than De Gea, unfortunately. De Gea has been a bit underwhelming for the last 1.5 seasons now. So yeah,
I'm just making a case for why I'm dropping it for mine.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm going with
Alisson.
The big yeah. And then in the midfield, I'm going with Pogba, Wijnaldum, and Keita. My reason for that is that I don't know. I don't rate Henderson the way I rate the other midfielders that Liverpool has.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no other Man United player can get into that midfield apart from Pogba. Based on work rate and based on their stats so far.
Has Keita played this season at all in the league? Right.
Sporadic minutes here and there. He played the full game, I think, of the Carling Cup.
Okay.
I think he played that one, but he hasn't really done anything.
I think there's a bit of a bias for me.
It's fine. Choose your own. Yeah, that's
yeah. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of his actually.
Okay.
So that's my midfield, and obviously Liverpool's front three. No Man United player makes it, unfortunately, into the front three. Mane and Firmino. I think that setup works perfectly for Pogba, in my opinion, because you have a hard-working player in front of him and a hard-working player behind him, and he's just free to move around and cause havoc. So that's the way I'll set up my team.
Okay, that's pretty decent. Ryan, tell us yours.
Okay, so I'm going off. I'm not going off the last 2 seasons. I'm going off to this point so far this season for my combined 11. So in goal, I'll go with De Gea.
Okay.
I'd pick Alisson, but he hasn't played. And Adrian, I'm grateful for what he's done, but I mean, I'm glad Alisson's coming back. He's just The thing about him is Adrian can make a difficult save, and then the easy ones, he looks real shaky. Like the one against Leicester the other day, I think he should have saved it. Madison's shot, I think that was a very weak shot. He should have caught it, but oh well. De Gea, I'll pick De Gea in goal. My back four, I'll go left back Robertson, centre backs Van Dijk and Matip. Because arguably, I will go as far as saying Liverpool's best defender this season has been Matip, not Van Dijk. It's been Matip has been by far. Matip does that dirty work. Van Dijk looks is better, like spraying the ball from the back, dictating, arranging the back four, all that. But Matip gets really stuck in, which I think Van Dijk doesn't like to do sometimes, even though I think he's a better defender. But this season, Matip has, see that Salzburg game, for instance, I feel if Matip is there instead of Gomez, those mistakes aren't happening.
Oh, okay. I've heard that from different forums about Matip being better.
No, Matip has been quality so far this season. And then right back, it's tough between, because of the players I'm going to pick for the rest of the team, it's tough between Wan-Bissaka and Trent, because I actually believe Wan-Bissaka is the better defender. But for the team, Trent is better because you can't leave out that many, you can't keep that many assists on the bench. You just can't do it. That's too many goals you're keeping out the team by putting him on the bench. So Trent. My midfield three, I'm going to go with Wijnaldum, Fabinho. Henderson isn't making my midfield three. McTominay in the middle, because I think I like Scott McTominay. Pogba would have made. Pogba's too lazy. He's a sick player, but he's too lazy. Pogba needs someone like Kante in his team that'll run and chase, so he can do all his fancy stuff. But when he's the one that's meant to be breaking up play, he can't do it. We've got Fabinho can do that. Right now, and McTominay, he's a grafter. I like that kid. I think he's a ball. I like McTominay. And then my front three, I think it's obvious who my front three is.
Okay.
James Lingard.
Only one Manchester United.
I'm joking.
Okay, I was going to say something. Oh, James.
Oh my God.
Salah, Mane, Firmino, yeah.
Okay,
so two United players get in my team.
Okay, very interesting. First of all, your midfield is like all grafts, which is typically how the current Liverpool setup is, right? Just a graft midfield. Your creativity is on the wings, right? Which is what you guys play.
See, Henderson can graft, but I don't think he's got any technique. His technique is so poor sometimes, and it's so look at say like Kovacic for Chelsea. Like he can break up play, he can spin. He's not very quick, but he'll break the play up and then find a good pass. Henderson just looks, I don't know. He tries. I'll give it to him. The boy tries.
He tries. He hasn't got a pass in him. That's the problem.
No, do you know what? The guy, he somehow snuck through and he made it to be a footballer. He was one of them, It's a true underdog story how the guy's a football player. I swear to God. But
Henderson is typical of the British stereotype of blood and thunder, right? The whole blood and thunder. Let's go. Let's breathe. So that's what Henderson is.
Beat your chest.
Glory, the whole.
Interesting. I put McTominay in that team. That's an interesting, very, very interesting.
I like McTominay
because he's not in their mind.
Yeah,
McTominay reminds me of the Longstaff brothers at Newcastle. That kind of mold. Like they play hard till the end.
Have you seen? I have a very sneak feeling that you've probably seen most of our games against the big sides. That's why you're making this pick. If you've seen us all of this season, I don't think you have that.
I need something to put me to sleep, so
Okay. Shots fired. Okay, it's all right.
We can take it.
Okay. So my own is I'll go David De Gea because Alisson has been injured all season pretty much. Trent, slightly above Wan-Bissaka because you need that. Robertson, Van Dijk. I'll say Matip because I think Maguire has been good to okay so far. I mean, it has been a signal improvement of where we are defensively, but because defensively we were really bad last season. I think midfield of Pogba, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. That's my midfield. Forward line, it picks itself pretty much. If Martial had stayed fit though, I probably would have thrown Martial in there, but. You can. I mean, If Martial, who would
you take out?
I've not been really impressed with Salah this season, though. Funny enough,
Yes,
I've not been impressed with Salah this season.
I figured you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not been impressed with Salah. But Martial has been fit. He has been out since game 2 or 3, and I mean Salah has scored more goals than him. So yeah, I can't. That would be an oversight. So yeah, that's my own combined 11. Pretty interesting that we can come to a time where we can make a combined 11 of Man U, Liverpool, and we have 3-2 Manchester United players.
Yeah. But yeah,
they will win the league though. You guys will win the league. all because of the game preview.
Okay. 8 games in. It's too long a way to go. You won't get me saying.
Congrats on winning the league. I mean, that's it's been 30 years waiting. Congrats. 29 years. Congrats. So let's stay with Ryan. Tell me the transfer that you guys have made, or you guys did not make, that hurt you the most.
That hurt us the most. That's a good question, because I can't really think. No one really stands out to me that we were heavily linked to that we didn't get them. Okay. So I feel us not getting Van Dijk when we initially went in for him was painful. Because our defense, because I think then that was you started to see a slow revival then, but a strong defender was the missing link. Correct. And I think had he come in, did we get him a year later or was it 6 months later? I can't remember. We got him in January. We tried to get him in summer. We ended up getting him in January. So I think had he come in earlier, the season might have looked a bit different. That's not for me to say. I don't know. But to be quite honest, I can't really think of anyone else that we've been linked to, because in the 30 years I've been alive, most of that time, we haven't really been able to go after anyone, absolutely massive. We've signed a lot of players that have come to the team and ended up turning into like big players, but we haven't really been able to, cope with or challenge the likes of you guys and Chelsea, during their revival years for, massive signings. No one's coming to Liverpool because we were just terrible. But as far as Van Dijk is probably the best player I can think of that we were linked to that we didn't get. And maybe for 6 months, had we had him, the shape of the league might have been different. Maybe that's just me being a little bit overly optimistic. I don't know.
I agree. If he made a big impact, maybe not. Maybe Andy Carroll, maybe that you guys got.
if we're talking about players that we bought that we
I don't know.
That was a joke. Choko.
Yeah. I was just gonna quickly comment on his. Can I just do that quickly?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I think Alisson is a bigger game changer for you guys than that's my theory.
Oh, yeah. I think so too. I think he's
a bigger game changer for Liverpool than Virgil van Dijk. But yeah, that's my bias aside. For me, I think it would be in 2002, 2003, when it was rumored that we're after Ronaldinho.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah.
I remember. That's actually my exact pick. I was going to pick you.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, we're going to get it.
Mate, if we had gotten Ronaldinho, even if it's just pre-season, just for the pre-season, bro, I'm not even messing, man.
That's not too much, in my opinion. If we had gotten Ronaldinho, since we have the same pick, we just go into it straight away. If we had gotten Ronaldinho, that's add 2 more Champions League to that era. 2 more.
Who is he at?
I thought the exact same thing. Sorry?
Who is he playing for when you were linked with him in 2000?
PSG.
PSG, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was between when he moved from PSG to Barcelona, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that move. That's when we were apparently in for him. But
there'd be a statue of him outside the stadium right now.
A part of Manchester will be named after him, man.
I mean, just imagine Ronaldo, and Rooney at that time. Oh my God, because we would have got cheat mode. You Because that guy, in my opinion, changed the landscape of football. And when I mean change, like in the sense that before then, the commercial side of football, like adverts and like people didn't used to really care about those things. I mean, during the World Cup, you care. Before the World Cup, you watch all the stars, with that big commercial. But Ronaldinho was the guy that when he came, Nike advert, everything changed.
They were like films, weren't they? Like short
films.
Yeah,
exactly. They changed just because of what that guy did. There's impact on the field. My goodness. That guy that guy is coming like this. Like he used to remind me as if he used to part like how the whole thing from the Bible, where is it? The Red Sea. Like, that's how Ronaldinho's penetrating drive used to be. When he's coming, defenders are just falling like left and right. I'm just like
this special relationship with the ball, man. Like no.
Do you know what? Till this day, I remember when the World Cup was in Nigeria, the Under-23 World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. 1999. I remember I went to watch Brazil Uruguay, and my God, I'm so happy. Even though it was Under-23, I got to see the guy play one time.
Correct. Under-20. It was Under-20. 1999.
Yeah. Oh my! The guy was a baller.
It was in Lagos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that. Cool.
Those were the times. Okay. So moving on to stay with Chuki, with Choko. Sorry.
Yeah.
Game preview. How do you see the game is going to go?
So is it prediction and then how I think the game is going to go generally?
Yeah. Game preview. Then you do a prediction at the end.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be a KG game. I think it's going to be KG. I think as usual because we're at home. We're going to obviously want to defend for our lives. We're obviously the underdogs, and you know how it is when big teams play setting on the when the big teams play setting underdog teams, they tend to bring their A game. So I think defensively we're going to be on our A game. I would like to think that because historically that's what tends to always happen. Or it could go spectacularly bad, like remember 4-1. The 4-1 without Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. I can never forget that game. When Torres just went on the blitz against us. But I think we are going to be set up as we already are, set up against almost every team to defend for our lives. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think you want to talk about key battles, but there'll be key battles everywhere.
That's true.
I mean, apart from the two keepers, every other position, there are going to be battles, and I just hope that we're able to hold them at bay. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's just going to be a game of containment.
Okay.
And probably hope to stick in a goal. I think. Can we move on to the prediction now? Or
yeah.
That's what I certainly think. I think the battle will mainly be in the midfield as usual because they have runners, they have hard-working players in the midfield who will want to get the ball, second balls, who get onto second balls like that, and hopefully our boys are up to it on that day as well. I think that's where it will be won and lost, because certainly our defense is still it's not the best. It's better than what it was last season.
Correct.
It's still not the best that it should be. So I think if we can contain them in our midfield, if Scott, your man, right, if Scott has a good game, hopefully might be able to keep some of your boys at bay. If not, I don't know. I don't want to think of the opposite, to be honest. We're going to play a game of containment.
Right.
That's what's happening. That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to be successful doing that. So if I'm to move, can I move on to the prediction now?
Yeah.
Moving on to the prediction, goal scoreline prediction. I would say that I think based on the fact that we're going to be playing a game of containment, it will be a draw. I think it will be a 1-1 or it will be a 1-1 draw. That's what I see happening. That's my prediction. That's my bold prediction.
Ryan, let's hear you.
I agree with everything he just said. Despite and I think it's fair to say, without being disrespectful, it's a gulf in class on paper when you look at the two teams now.
Yep.
United are playing with basically a team that wouldn't even smell the bench a few years ago. Like, you would never hear of these players, but for social media, you would never know who any of the players in United's first 11 are, apart from like De Gea, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. But it's Man United, Liverpool. It's one of those games where, like Liverpool, Everton, like not United City. That's but it's one of those games where the form book goes out the window. And last season, look what happened. I thought all your players were going down injured. I thought, yeah, we're going to steamroll these. It was a boring 0-0 draw. Same when Liverpool played Everton last season. I thought, yeah, we should batter these. Another draw. It's one of those games. It's really hard to predict what will happen. I believe United will defend for their lives for majority of the game. I think I saw today that Pogba might not be fit for the derby. Whether that's mind games and he will be fit, I don't know. But obviously your form has been terrible for quite a while now this season. And if ever there was a game, to turn it round, and historically, I don't know if you remember, Liverpool are always the team where teams decide, do you know what, I don't want to be shit no more, I want to be good. Leicester did it to us. So many teams have played against us and decided, okay, from today on, if anything, you need to just sack Solskjaer before was it Saturday or Sunday, whenever. Get a new manager in. And new managers love beating Liverpool for their first game for some reason. Like you said, I think it could either be a 0-0 draw or we will absolutely batter you. And I'm going to try and be positive. And we will win 3-0.
What?
Yeah, we did it on our near miss 13-14 season, which still gives me nightmares every night. We won 3-0. I think we can win 3-0. We should be winning 3-0. This team should not be giving us a test. But put it this way, if you want to win the league, this Man United team should not give you any trouble at all, based on your first 11 and based on your last few performances. Okay. I don't think this team, if you want to consider yourself a title challenging team, this team, you should blitz them. You should be I know Man City would wipe the floor with his first 11 with no Pogba. That Man City would walk right through them. But I still believe Man City are a better team than Liverpool, believe it or not. I don't care what the league says. Man City, when I watch them play, I think, even though we're top of the league, think, my God, why can't we play like that? I think Liverpool has more heart than Man City. I think their manager, Jurgen Klopp, is a better motivator than Guardiola. I think Guardiola's tactics might be better, but as a person, Klopp is more likable, and sometimes that's all you need as a player, someone that'll, get the arm around you and support you through everything. And I think that is what the fact that James Milner is still a very key part of this. He would not make Man City's bench, James Milner. He would not. There's nobody on that bench he's replacing. There's no one in the first 11 he's replacing. So the fact that Klopp can get, what he's getting out of Milner, just squeezing every bit of all the years out of it, every bit of talent he's still got left in him. We should be beating you comfortably at home. Should be. I'm hoping we do. Okay. I will predict and say 3-0. I'm hoping that's what it ends up. But if it doesn't, I think it'll be a draw as well, honestly.
Okay. You guys kind of echo my thoughts in the sense that I also think Liverpool, Manchester United games, typically Liverpool get very emotional about that game. Yeah. They get really, really emotional about that game. And that's why even when we're still decent under, say, LVG, those times, Liverpool have better teams, but when you play us, LVG found a way to let the players understand that it's just a game. Let's take the emotion. And we always kind of beat you guys under LVG. Liverpool get very emotional about that game, pretty much. So because of that, I think it's going to be a game of containment for sure on our end. Sit back, counter. I think our players playing Pogba and Martial, rumored, is very key to this game. I think they're very, very, very critical to this game. If Pogba doesn't play, and we have to play Matic or Fred in that midfield. I think he doesn't trust Fred, so he probably is going to go to Matic. I hope not. I really hope not.
What is that guy's position? What is his position?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I think Fred is a decent player. I think he's suffered from the fact that especially for two teams without a structure, an identity of how they play football, and the few times he had decent games, he never got it wrong. He had one or two decent like Champions League against Barca, against PSG. He played well in the first leg against Barca, and both legs against PSG, but then he gets taken out of the team. That's been the problem for him. Even on that Jose, he played like 2 games, he gets taken out of the team. That's one thing. Second thing, I also think is the player who's used the pace of the Premiership. You know how Fabinho took a while, Klopp got easily in. Yeah. That was a mistake I think they made with Fred. Got easily in and let him just play through those mistakes. You know, the pace of the Premiership, when Fabinho was struggling before the game, just playing through those things, but he kept getting taken out of the game. Yeah. And that's why it seems like they like trusting him more in Europe. Because in Europe, the game's slower, it's more technical, you have time on the ball, they don't give you that much time. Anyways, I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's a 1. It smells like a 1-1 draw. It shouldn't be a draw, to be honest, based on form and quality of the team. It shouldn't be. And Liverpool should win that game easily, like a 2-0 win. But just because of the fact that I think Liverpool get very emotional about that game, it's Manchester United, they're fired up, they want to make a statement. I think we're going to contain, and Liverpool is going to come out and attack. Klopp is going to let's attack. So that containment, we'll probably score first, and because Liverpool will now come at us and we concede. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. That's what I see anyway. So it's going to be we find a way, all these kind of games now with our new current tactics, making it very boring. We're going to stifle the game. It's going to be boring. It should be like similar like the last year's game at Old Trafford. You know, It's going to be boring, stifling. Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
Klopp didn't find it funny at all. Nah. I see Klopp not being happy as well at the end of the game. Hopefully.
So that's what I think is going to happen. So we'll do so I think it's 1-1 too, just like you think. Yeah. Choko. We'll do a quick score prediction. Let's dart around the league quickly. Chelsea, Newcastle, Ryan.
3-1 Chelsea.
Okay. Chelsea's doing 1.
I scoreline too.
3-1 Chelsea. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always concede though.
Are they playing at Stamford Bridge?
Stamford Bridge, yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Chelsea's going to concede 1, but they'll
batter the 3-1. Okay, that's what I have to. Ryan, Spurs, Watford.
Spurs, Watford.
White Hart Lane.
4-0 Spurs.
4-0? I think they'll bounce back.
Watford are terrible. Watford are useless.
The league table doesn't lie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think I'm going to go for 2-1. I think it will just be a game where Spurs will use to kind of like start to reboot after like a terrible week. So I don't know. I don't know about 4-0, but I think it's going to be 2-1 to me. That's my prediction.
2-1. Okay. Yeah, mine is 2-0.
Okay.
So Crystal Palace, Man City. At Crystal Palace.
At Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Man City's bogey team. I'll say 2-1 City.
2-1 City. Okay.
I have a weird feeling that Man City are actually going to exorcise the demons out of, basically.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I have that weird feeling that they're just going to get over that. They're just going to say, you know what, today we're going to lay the marker down and, just drive it into their subconscious that they are not our bogey team. So I have a feeling that it's going to be an embarrassing scoreline for Crystal Palace. I'm going with a 5-0 or at least 5-0. That's what I'm going for. It's weird. That's what I think. I think it's going to be one of those games where Man City just go, crazy.
I trust your gut feeling. I think it's going to be. I agree too. I think it's going to be battle. I think it's not because of boogie team. I think just because Man City know now. This is the league right now. There's no more going behind that 8 points. They know that this is the league right here, right now, and they know that I think Liverpool are going to drop points over the next 3 weeks before they meet them. Whether it's against us, whether it's against Spurs, the following week they're going to drop points. So they know that this is the league right here. They have to make some ground. Whether it's 2 points, they have to make a ground. So they're going to come out with a statement. I think the Bernard will be back. So yeah, they're going to go in. So I think it's going to be 4-0 away at Crystal Palace. Final one, Sheffield United, Arsenal.
Sheffield United, Arsenal.
At Sheffield.
At Sheffield. 2-1 Sheffield United.
Okay. Choko.
I have a theory about Arsenal. There are certain teams that I just feel Arsenal beats, and I think Sheffield is one of them. I don't know. It's not based on any stats or any scientific finding or anything, but based on how Sheffield has been playing so far, I don't see any way. I think I'm going for the reverse of his prediction. By the way, 2-1 to Arsenal. I think, and that will be purely because of Emery's tinkering. I think if Emery didn't tinker so much, they'll absolutely batter Sheffield United. But based on Emery, I'm factoring in Emery. So I'm going with it. I'm going with it 2-1.
Okay, interesting. So, I'm actually closer to what he's thinking, just because I've watched that Sheffield team, the way they play, especially at home. They're a very physical team. They have a pattern of play. They do all the things that Arsenal do not really like. They're physical. They cross the ball very well. So I think it's going to be a draw, just because of the fact that I think Arsenal will score 2. So I'm going 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw at Sheffield. This is the end of the preview. If you like this content, like, follow, share, all our content. Thanks for coming, guys.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure, and hopefully I get to do this more.
Yeah, no problem. I will definitely. Yeah. I'll look for an easier fixture.
This was a torture for me.